Hi everyone, this is a short demo of the integration between the Bauplan MCP server, Linear, and GitHub. So let me show you how this works. Now, on the left-hand side of my screen, I have Claude Desktop, and I am in a project that I called CEO. And you will see that in this project, I have two things worth noticing. So first, we have a set of instructions here that says essentially to consult the docs that we have created to answer questions. And then, most importantly, we have an integration here with the files contained in the GitHub repository. The GitHub repository is this one on the right, and for the time being, the only thing that you care about is the fact that in the docs, we have multiple markdown files that answer different questions, let's say. So there is a first markdown file that addresses how Claude should respond to the executive, so the CEO in this case. We have another markdown explaining how the lakehouse is structured. Another one explains how to use linear for our use case. And then we have another one containing the say semantics of the details, if you wish, of our data set. And finally, we have a workflow file that describes the overall workflow from a question being asked on Claude up until the creation of a PR that resolves that question. So now the overall workflow is basically like this. So we start from a question from a CEO, and let me paste one for you. So we say that we need the orders by region, okay, from a given table, from a data set. Now, the point is, this is like a question that the CEO might be asking, but what we really want is one of two things. So if we can immediately fetch the answer to this question via a very simple query, so if the table that contains this answer already exists, what the Bauplan MCP server will have to do is like query this table with some filtering and give us back the result. On the other hand, if the answer is not there yet, it will do two things. So first, it will actually create a more complex query. So not just a simple select from a table, but something more complicated, with points and other stuff. And on the other hand, once this query is run, we have a result. We return this result to the user, possibly with some chart, and then we will file a GitHub, a linear issue containing all the details. So this question was asked, this was the answer, and this was the query that generated this answer. And this linear issue would be mirrored on GitHub as a GitHub issue, and then there will be another instance of Claude, in this case would be a Claude code, running on a GitHub runner that will pick up this issue, resolve it, so create a branch, create a new code, and then finally open up a PR. What does this PR contain? Well, what it contains is actually a pipeline that creates, let's say, the golden table that would answer the executive question right away without any need for joins or any other complicated operation. So in some sense, the first time this question gets asked, well, we will perform a complicated query. But then if this question comes up again, we will query a very simple table. So the answer would be faster, would be more precise, because there would be a human that has reviewed the PR that Claude opened. And so we will have a consistent lakehouse. So let's see how it works in practice. So let's ask this question to Claude. First, it will look into our GitHub and have everything there. So it's going to ask a question, actually. So it asks if we mean customers region or suppliers region. Let's go for customers. Okay. So the first thing that it will do is like check with the Bauplan MCP server what we have. So of course we can deal with the with the permissions, it will look at the tables that we have already in our lakehouse. So it says that we have no pre-built call table for this, so it means that we will need to run a query to do this. Okay, now we're getting back our answer with a plot. Nice. We have our answer. We have also some explanation here. And now it's asking us to save the issue on linear. Yes, we do allow that. So once this issue is filed, it will appear here. Okay, great. We have our issue. So let's look at it. So if we open it up, you will see that we have like the question that was asked. We have some explanation on the interpretation because the region was resolved to the customer region, and this was confirmed. Then we have the source query that, as you can see, it's actually not a single one because we have some count distinct, we have some joins, we have a group by, and actually a couple of group bys, and so on. Sorry, group by and then order by. This is the result. This is important because when we will create the pipeline that actually implements this logic, we will need to check that the output of the pipeline coincides with the output of the query. Then we have a breakdown of the tables in terms of which columns, how many records, and so on. And this is like some instructions for the agent. Now, the cool thing is that, as you will see here, this thing was mirrored on GitHub, right? So you can also see here, issue synced with GitHub number 10. So now, if I go here on the issues, you will see that indeed there is number 10. Now I can open this up, and we basically have exactly the same content. And now there will be another agent running and do this. This agent is created by GitHub Actions. So if we go under Actions, you will see that we have it. Nice. So now this guy is implementing the pipeline from scratch. So it's running Cloud code. It will take a while. So I'm going to stop here and then resume once this is done. Right. Yeah. So as you can see, the Cloud code running on GitHub completed the run. We can see that he implemented the pipeline in some 10 minutes. Then he has committed and pushed changes and also opened up a pull request. So this means that if we go here, we will see that there is a pull request for us. Okay, that explains that this one closes number 10, which was what we had as an issue. Then we have an explanation of what has changed, the problems encountered, trade-offs, verification, and so on. And we are ready to merge.